Hi guys, so what we're going to be doing today is going through the Resit brief for digital marketing and media platforms. Hi guys, so what we're going to be doing today is going through the Resit brief for digital marketing and media platforms. So what we need to do today is actually look at what each of the tasks are. So this time you are actually going to be doing it as an individual. So there is no group work element, and the assignment brief has changed quite a bit to make it smaller for you to be able to manage to do within this reset period. So what we kind of need to do is kind of remind ourselves of the context of this. We need to go through what blog posts 1, 2, 3 and 4 look like this time. There is no reflection, which is blog post 5 this time. That has been removed. We're going to look at the marking criteria and what each element is worth for your assignment, and then we're going to look at how do you submit this to make sure you do this correctly and submit it on time and you can get your mark for it. So looking at this, you have been given by the exam board and a deadline of the 8th of July, and what I've done is set the deadline to 23:55, which is the latest I can set it for on that day. So please ensure that you start to upload it way before that, because it will record at the time that it has been uploaded successfully to the system. So you do not want to be in the position where you have submitted at 5 minutes past midnight, because you will receive late grade, which means that you will have not submitted your assignment on time. You need to do this online via Moodle. There is no need for you to come in and submit a hard copy. So your only copy will be in PDF format and submitted via Moodle. And this will contribute to 40% of your unit. So this element is still worth only 40% of the unit, and the pass mark is still 40%. You need to get 40% or above in this to not be resitting it again in August. So looking at this, you have moved from doing this as a group to doing this as an individual. So what you need to remember straight away is this is different. You are now working as an individual. So you are going to be assuming a sole trader business, and you are a full service digital agency on your own, a one-man person, a consultant who is going to have to set up their own Blogger or WordPress and become a digital marketing agency. And what you'll need to do is think about this from the industry perspective and look at some of the industry trends, some of the industry opinions. And as we've not got tutorials now, these won't be posted on your blog, but you could post anything on your blog that you want to, and we will only mark the 4 posts that you submit as your submission. So you can actually use this as a practice place or somewhere to put content and then come to one of the one-to-ones, and we can go through what is working, what isn't working, and those sorts of things. You then can look at the context. What you need to be doing is thinking about the industry of digital marketing and marketing as a whole. You need to think about how this assignment is going to be testing your ability to reflect on what's going on in industry, justify why a client should be using these tools, and critically analyze and critically approach this assignment in a way where you should be doing this because of X, Y, and Z. You should be doing this or stop doing this because of X, Y, and Z, and using these different resources to back up and support why you are doing this and why you're not. So the aims of the assignment is to look at the digital communications and the business. So you're going to be given in task number 2 a business again, and in task number 1 you're going to be pitching out to any businesses. So you need to actually think about how does digital marketing communications impact business strategy, and you're going to be looking at some of the contemporary issues. So you're going to have to think about blogging, you're going to have to think about social media marketing, email, you're going to have to think about marketing, mobile marketing, and which element of this do you think is most applicable and what element interests you the most, and explore some digital marketing examples within this and what it works like in practice. So you're going to have 4 tasks now. One of them is a digital marketing platform appraisal. So very similar to what you did in the first term when you were doing this as a group. You're going to have to pick one of those digital platforms and appraise it in 600 words. No more and preferably no less. You're then going to have to create a video pitch in 1 to 2 minutes for your chosen business and that chosen platform. You're going to have to write a 250-word justification of the suitability of this platform for the client, and you're going to need to provide a full Harvard reference list. So those are the 4 tasks. Yeah, very similar to what you did in the first assignment, but they are different as you are going to be doing this as an individual. So blog post number 1, this is still an appraisal of any of these digital platforms. So blogging, email, search engine marketing, social media marketing, and mobile marketing. But the difference is now you have got no more than 600 words. You don't have the 1,500 words that you had before. That's too much for one person. You only need to do it in 600 words. And what we are expecting you to do is to define that platform. So if, for example, you pick social media marketing, what is the definition of social media marketing? And what does this mean for businesses? Please don't get a dictionary.com definition. You need to get a working industry definition or an academic definition or both and compare and contrast the differences. You need to really think about the audience of this blog, which is a digital marketing is a business looking for a digital marketing agency. So you need to really think about what business people want to hear. They're not going to want to hear a boring dictionary definition. They're going to want a working definition that they understand and contextualize that within this assignment. You're then going to have to go through some of the tools and techniques associated with digital marketing platform. So with social media, is it the use of hashtags? Is it the use of imagery? Is it the use of influencers? Is it the use of different metrics? What is it that makes that different, and what techniques do you use to successfully run a digital marketing platform campaign on social media? Then your next section is that you need to justify the use of this digital platform. So why would you use social media? Why would you use email? Why would you use mobile marketing? Why is it suitable for a business today to be using this? And this is where you'll bring in a lot of sources from industry. So you're going to get some statistics on why this is a really profitable thing, some statistics of the industry, how many different businesses are using it, how much people spend on that platform as a business user in the last year. You need to really think about it and really create a good argument to justify why people are going to do this. And then you're also going to have to critique in section 4 the digital platform. What's good about social media and what's bad about social media? What's good about email and what's bad about email? So when you critique, you're not just looking at the disadvantages, you're looking at the strengths and the weaknesses, you're looking at the positives, the negatives. You need to look at it from both sides, and that's what a full critique is. It's not just looking at the negative impacts of social media, or email, or blogging, or search engine marketing, or mobile marketing. So you really need to think about that carefully. And then you need to look at a recent campaign. And when I say recent, you need to be looking at the very latest, a 2018 campaign, but now you could be using a 2019 campaign. Look at some really good examples, get some screenshots in there and show how people are engaging with this, how this is being successful. And if you really want to get high grade, how are people doing it badly as well? Use more than one example. You're not stuck to one example. You can use as many as you want throughout this piece, but you need a minimum to pass one really good, strong, recent example. And then you need to summarize this and conclude your 600 words with a really good summary that will remind people and remind that client why they should invest in that digital platform and why your agency would be a good person to invest their money with. So you need to think about this. Don't think of this as a report format. Think of this as a tone of voice that is suitable for potential clients that you're pitching at, and using the sort of terminology that they would expect from a digital marketer. And you need to use your references at this point as a hyperlink, because you get your extra marks later on in blog post 4 to 10 since halved referencing. So if you don't know what hyperlink is, you can ask that as a question, but we have gone through this, and you can revisit some of the slides from during the year to look at this. Then you've got blog post number 2, and this is to create a 2-minute video, or between 1 to 2 minute video that pitches a creative marketing campaign for your chosen client. And this is really key. The clients have changed. You will not be able to reuse any of your work from your group assignment. You'll need to pick a new client. And the clients that you've got are Pizza Hut, Google Home, so the Google Home Pods, PlayStation VR, and Birchbox subscriptions. So you can pick one of those. Any of them are great, and it's just pick which one is in an area of interest to you or that you're familiar with, and pick that one and run with that one. So that would be my advice on which client to pick. So what you need to do in this is do your pitch video again, and you need to do an outline of the client. Please remember you're talking to the client. So this outline of the client isn't Pizza Hut was established in. It's you, Pizza Hut, in the last 5 years have been doing this. Your social media looks like this. Your email looks like this. Your mobile marketing looks like this. And what we recommend is that you use this platform, which could be any of them that you've picked in blog post 1. So if you pick social media, we recommend that you pick social media because of X, Y, and Z. Then you'll clarify which platform is to be used. So social media will be used, and within that we're actually looking at a campaign that will only focus on Instagram, or will focus on Instagram and YouTube, or will focus on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter using certain hashtags. And set yourself a SMART objective, and that's really key, and I'll repeat it. A SMART objective. Do not just set a really long sentence that has nothing measurable, has nothing strategic about it, has nothing that sets who your target audience is, because the broader it is, the harder it is for you to meet that and show a campaign that will meet that objective. So my advice to you is to go and look at some of the links that we put up on the site and actually go through and set yourself a SMART objective and put that on the slides that you are recording and talk through that. And then you need to do details of the creative campaign. So what's your idea? How are you going to do a campaign that meets this? Are you going to run a 30-day meet the marketers campaign or meet the store managers campaign? Think about it. What are you going to be doing? What is your creative campaign? What you are recommending that the client does to meet this objective? So with this, it is a video, so make sure that you have a creative video in the sense that it's not just you talking a selfie video, or that it's not just really white slides with a monotone voice. Because this is a pitch, you're trying to get some business, so you need to show that you're really enthusiastic about these ideas. You need to make sure that your student name and idea is somewhere on the video. Your student name and ID is somewhere on the video. I don't mind if it's the first slide, I don't mind if it's the last slide, I don't mind if it's in the corner of every single slide or every single part of your video. You need to make sure that it's on there and that you embed this video within your blog post. So it's a clickable link for us. And then you've got blog post 3, which is a final kind of written piece of work, and it is a 250 word academic justification of your campaign ideas. So you will have picked your client, you will have come up with a really strategic objective for them, and you will have pitched a campaign idea. So now is your chance to go, this is why this will work. This is examples from industry. This is what this reference says. This is what this textbook says. This is what Walk is saying. This is what Mintel is saying. This is why it's going to work. So this is your chance to give a 250 word, really robust rationale, clearly justifying your campaign idea and why that campaign will work for your client on that platform. And you need to make sure that you show that it's suitable for that client and that you've not just picked a really cool campaign. Why will that campaign work for Pizza Hut? Or why will that campaign work for PlayStation VR? Why is this a personalized idea? So the things that I really want you to think about obviously you're not limited to this, but briefly re-outline your client and your digital platform very shortly in a few words. And what we want you to do here is really establish who your client is, what is the digital platform, and then within that digital platform, why have you picked it to suit that client? Why does this work? Have you done an appraisal of their digital and found out that their social media needs a more a different direction, doesn't work for the target audience you picked? You need to really think about that carefully. And then you need to move on to, why will these creative ideas work for this platform and for this client? So you're going to have to come up with maybe an example of when a similar sort of campaign is run and some statistics around that. So what we mean by that, is it a swipe up campaign? Do they work? Is it an influencer campaign? Have you got some statistics around that? What sort of campaign are you running and why are you doing it in that way? What is your creative idea? And some justification with academically credible sources, industry sources, to actually back up that, to clearly justify that you've not just made it up, you've not just come up with an idea without any substantiation, that you've really deeply thought about this and you're pitching something that will get a good return on investment for your client. And then, seeing as you've set up your SMART objective, this last thing will be really easy for you to do. What is your desired response from the target audience? What do you want them to do? Do you want them to follow an account? Do you want them to spend money? What is your measurable? So what do you expect the target audience to do? Are you going to be increasing social media following, and why? What sort of rate are you thinking that you're going to increase it by? 10%, by 15%, by a certain number of followers? What are you expecting as your response to this campaign? So that's what the minimum I'm expecting you to do within that blog post 3. Blog post 4, worth 5%, is literally all of those hyperlinks that you've used to prove that you've not just made it up in your head throughout that entire piece of work. You're now actually going to be recording that as a Harvard reference list. So everything that you are going to be using, you will be putting a reference there. Any images you've used, you're going to be providing a Harvard style reference of those campaign links, all of those different things. So you're going to have one big Harvard reference list on blog post number 4. Blog post 5, we're not doing for this submission, so you don't need to worry about that. So as we have just seen, that can be deleted. And this is our new assignment marking criteria, which you're going to need to go through really carefully. So basically what you're getting now is 50% for blog post number 1, 25% for blog post number 2, 25% for blog post number 20% for blog post number 3, and 5% for blog post number 4. So if that adds up, 50, 25, 25. So you're not getting any marks for blog post 5, so please don't do it. You are just getting marks for blog post number 1, worth 50%, and that's your 600 words. You're going to get 25% of your marks for your video, and I've already told you how you're going to get those marks through this video. You're going to be getting 20% of your marks from your justification of your campaign, and then an extra 5% of your marks, which we're hoping will be up here for everyone. Oops, up here in this sort of section for everyone, due to the fact that by now we're hoping that you can do a really good Harvard reference list with a variety of sources. So just to remind everyone, your submission date for this is the 8th of July at 23:55 for all of the tasks. You cannot submit anything later than 23:55, and you're going to be uploading it as 4 different PDF files to Moodle, as you did with your first submission. The resources that I'm expecting you to use as a bare minimum, remember bare minimum, not this will get you a good mark, this will get you a pass, are your Chaffee Core textbook and any of the other textbooks that I've recommended, such as your Solomon textbook, there are other textbooks recommended, so go through the reading list and have a look at that. You're going to be I'm going to expect you to look at some of the lecture material and follow some of those sources, because there are a lot of statistics in those, especially in the first term, where I brought in loads of really recent statistics that haven't been updated, and you will be able to use those statistics if you go back to the source. You will be looking at the lecture materials on your chosen topic, and make sure that you look at very least the weekly reading list from the lecture slides and from the Moodle area. We are expecting you, as this is an industry piece of work, to be looking at industry reports. So there's loads of blogs that you could use, look like the SEMrush blog, the eConsultancy blog, the HubSpot blog, and we're going to be expecting you to use some of the library resources as well, which are market data reports. So you've got Mintel reports for your UK data, you've got stuff like such as internet use, internet penetration rates, all those different things that are going to be really important to you. But also you've got the Walk website, where the Walk database, where you can look at really good best practice papers and what people are doing right now in 2019 on these different platforms. And every week we've got loads of different things and loads of different academic papers that we've recommended, and all of the different databases such as Academic OneFile and Business Source Premier, where you can search for academic papers on your topic area. So we are expecting textbooks, websites, industry resources, and academic papers, all of those for you to get a decent mark in this. So top tips: use the tutorial sessions wisely. I've left the forums up. You can see all of the work that you've done this year, so make sure you do look at that really carefully. And look at some real life examples. There is a directory here of real life Manchester-based digital agencies that are live with their blog, so have a look at those. Make sure that you use your embedded links, so your hyperlinks, to reference and evidence throughout your post, and get someone else to read your work, and don't even think about submitting late, because you will get a late mark, which you do not want in a resit. Questions? I will take any questions now. I'm looking at my email account, there's nothing come in, and there's nothing come in on the briefing chat at the moment, so I'll leave that open for a few more minutes. But your other options are to ask on the Moodle forum and come to one of the one-to-ones. So the Moodle forum is now open and will be open for all of the days that I'm not on leave. So I am on annual leave from the 27th of this month to the 3rd of next month. So from the 27th to the 3rd, you will not get anything questions answered. So please ask them before that, or they will be answered on my return. Or you can come to a one-to-one. The next one-to-one is actually tomorrow, so Tuesday the 25th, and all of the details are on Moodle, and as other one-to-ones are on offer, they will be posted up on Moodle. They will be on offer after my return from annual leave. So have a look at that. At the moment, there is nobody on asking any questions, so I'm going to sign out from this now. Best of luck. Please contact me via Moodle, via the one-to-ones, and best of luck with your reset.